Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going to unlock a little secret to making your English sentences sound so much smoother, so much more natural. But you know what? Before we dive into any rules, let's warm up with a fun little challenge. I'm going to throw a few clues about England your way, and let's see how you do.
Okay, here we go. It's a quick pop quiz about some famous English people, places, and things. All you have to do is guess what or who I'm describing. Ready? Let's kick things off with... First up, think about a writer who wrote hundreds of amazing plays. Any ideas? That's right, it's William Shakespeare. Now, as we go through these, listen really closely to the words I'm using to connect the ideas.
Okay, next one. Imagine a detective whose residence is at a super famous London address. If you're thinking Sherlock Holmes, you've got it.
All right, let's switch from people to a thing. We're looking for a prehistoric monument, which is more than 4,000 years old. Any guesses? That would be the amazing Stonehenge.
And for our last clue, I want you to name the town where William Shakespeare was born. Shakespeare fans, you know this one. It's Stratford-upon-Avon. Fantastic job, everyone.
So, did you notice I was putting a little extra emphasis on certain words in those clues? Did you catch the pattern? What were those little connecting words that were doing all the work? You got it. The magic words were who, whose, which, and where. In every single clue, these were the words doing the heavy lifting, linking our main subject to all those extra juicy details. And these handy little words have a name, of course. They're called relative pronouns. Their job is actually pretty simple, but so powerful. They just connect a descriptive phrase to a noun, giving us more information without having to start a whole new sentence.
So the big question is, how do you know which one to use? Well, that's what this next part is all about. Let's think of this as your personal toolkit for building better, stronger sentences. Let's break it down. Honestly, the rules are super straightforward. As you can see right here, for people, we use who. For things, we use which. To show that something belongs to someone, we use whose. Remember the detective whose residence was famous? And for places, we use where. See, every example came straight out of our little quiz. Simple, right?
Now, let's talk about a real chameleon of a word, that. Think of it like a multi-tool. A lot of the time, you can use that instead of who when you're talking about people, or instead of which for things. So saying a writer that wrote plays, or a monument that is old, that's also 100% correct. And hey, here's a pro tip that'll make you sound even more like a native speaker. Sometimes you can actually just drop the relative pronoun completely. Here's the rule. If the word that comes right after who, which, or that is a person or a thing, a noun or pronoun, you can just leave it out. So instead of she was an actress that my parents loved, you can just say she was an actress my parents loved. It's shorter, quicker, and it sounds really natural.
Okay, enough with the theory. The absolute best way to get good at grammar is to actually use it. So it's time to put these new skills to the test. Let's do a few practice runs.
All right, let's try this first one. Cairo is the place blank the Great Sphinx stands. Should you use what, where, or who? Just remember what we're talking about here. Cairo is a place.
And the answer is where, of course, because we're talking about a location, we use where to connect that place to what happens there. Cairo is the place where the Great Sphinx stands. Perfect.
Okay, up next. Arar is a poet, blank, poems make me happy. Your choices are which, who, or whose. Think about the relationship here. What's the connection between the poet and the poems?
You got it. The correct answer is whose. We use whose to show possession or ownership. The poems belong to the poet. It connects them seamlessly. Ours is a poet whose poems make me happy. Okay, final practice round. What's the name of the scientist, blank, discovered black holes? Is it who, which, or whose? Well, since a scientist is a person, the answer is who. And remember, you could totally use that here too. Great job with the practice. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get the rules, but why is this so important? Well, trust me, getting a handle on these tiny little words is the key to unlocking a whole new level of fluency.
Think about it. These little words are total game changers. They let you combine short, clunky sentences into longer, more elegant ones. They help you add really important details without ever breaking your flow. Using them the right way just makes your English sound way more connected and sophisticated.
It's a huge step towards sounding less like you're reading from a textbook and more like a native speaker.
So, I've got one final challenge for you. Right now, think of a person you admire, a place you absolutely love, and an object that's important to you. Can you describe each one in a single sentence using a relative pronoun? Go on, give it a try. This is how you take what we just talked about and make it a real permanent part of your English toolkit.